Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has finally reached physical media, and along with it, as I predicted, there was going to be a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, or at least as far as the major retailers are concerned for Best Buy, because often overseas you're going to have other retailers and markets that are going to be able to have their own versions of the Steelbook. But it looks like there's a major problem with this guy. It looks like it's becoming a bit of a running joke, a running gag, if you will, for Spider-Man Steelbooks, because if you guys remember from my unboxing or unwrapping, if you will, of the No Way Home version from Best Buy, again, there was a problem with that one as well. There was a problem with the artwork, and it looks like after months of its reveal, back in, well, at least a couple of months, since June, I believe, shortly after the theatrical release, these days, they're starting to unveil Steelbooks literally the weekend that the movie comes out. And it scares me because it's ruining the integrity of that theatrical run. It's one of the things that Christopher Nolan's trying to preserve, and one of the things I admire about him. But anyways, tangent aside, the Steelbook is finally in my possession. I wanted to do a quick unwrapping on camera, and I wanted to serve as a form of call to action to get some better work on the artwork, because one of the things that I really treasure about the notion of Steelbooks, one of the reasons for why I'm a major Steelbook collector, outside of just Batman and Spider-Man, there's a handful of other art books and Steelbooks I have for physical media of certain movies that I love, because the Steelbook, there's something very tangential, there's something very durable and collectible about Steelbooks, and I want to make sure that the artwork represents that, but not when you're doing little cheats like this. I'll get to it momentarily. For now, I just want to take a look at it in that minty wrapped condition. As you can see, the blatant sticker right here notifying you that this is in fact a Best Buy exclusive, at least in North American markets. A sticker that reads over 90 minutes of extras, Easter eggs, deleted scenes, and more. Something that makes me think back in the day when they used to amount the commentaries and everything together, and they would often advertise it as like 6 hours of behind the scenes material or 8 hours, and I'm like, god damn, how much stuff is there packed? And then later, as the years went by, I finally realized that they were counting the audio commentary, so they were technically adding the runtime of the movie onto itself to kind of bloat it up and make it seem like there's actually more extras than there really is. Now they're cutting out the commentaries altogether, whether it be inclusion of the runtime here that they would advertise for the bonus features, or just altogether as a feature. And so now they're being a bit more accurate with it, saying 90 minutes, but I digress. And not much else on the side that I won't comment on later on once we actually remove the cellophane, but we do have a very, very quick look here at the back cardboard insert that is of course included with all Steelbooks, with the back right here, Miles and Gwen leaping into action. You've never seen anything like it in your life. Which is actually not too much of a stretch as far as the animation is concerned. It's one of the very unique things about the Spider-Verse movies. Quick synopsis of the film itself, a description of the bonus features, of course your technical specs, HDR, digital movie included, and then the credits. Now there's a reason for why I'm trying to cover up the credits as much as possible, because as I was kind of scanning this prior to getting ready to film the unwrapping, I discovered that there's actually a bit of a spoiler in the credits here. There's a certain name that I don't think they should have included in there, because I don't remember ever having it listed in the posters or anything like that when the movie came out in theaters, and that was a good idea. So I don't know why they included that specific name in the credits here on home release. So a bit of a warning for all 2 of you people out there who did not see Across the Spider-Verse. Chances are that if you're watching this unwrapping for the Steelbook because you're trying to decide if you should pick up the Steelbook yourself, you've probably already seen the movie. But if by some chance you have not, there is a bit of a spoiler. If you've seen the first movie but you haven't seen the second movie, there's a bit of a spoiler in the credits, so that's the warning for you. Outside of that, though, there's not much more that I can really comment on for the time being, so let's get to the unwrapping. And as I handle and finagle here with the Steelbook, I can already feel, there you go, a little bit of the looseness on this. Best Buy, please just be careful. I appreciate receiving these things a little ahead of time, because I was genuinely surprised to get an email from Best Buy saying, hey, the package is on the way. And I'm like, what did I order from Best Buy that at least is on pre-order? Because I don't remember ordering anything recently except for an SD card because I need a replacement. And then that's when it occurred to me, oh shit, the Steelbook for Across the Spider-Verse. But I distinctly remember it having a September 5th release date, and I ended up getting this at least a couple of days early. But at the same time, if it means that you guys are going to be at least a little nicer with the handling of the contents inside, delay it. Take your time. Don't make sure that you rush, let alone use someone like On Track to deliver my goods, because I would rather you guys go with someone just a little bit more on the reliable side, like UPS or USPS. But as I wrap up my little rant on the handling of the contents, we have, again, this little paper insert. It's actually not cardboard anymore. That's a little bit of a bummer. It's actually more of this kind of construction paper type of, well, paper. It's not really cardboard anymore. Once we get that out of the way, though, we get a much broader and cleaner look at the artwork itself. And you can see that it's pretty much taking an awful lot of inspiration from one of the most iconic sequences from the film itself, which is the spider people chase. And I'm noticing that there is a bit of a matte finish over the cover, very reminiscent of the No Way Home Steelbook. So I do dig that, especially if you're going to take an awful lot of the colors and make them pop with this lenticular feel, especially the ones that you can kind of see right here through the buildings, through the interdimensional buildings. And I love the usage of the palettes with the red, the blue, the lavender, all these things that really make the artwork pop. So you see that coming through specifically for Miles, for Miguel, Spider-Man 2099, and Jessica Drew there in the back. And then if you look a little closely, I might be wrong. I'm more than likely wrong, but you see these clouds kind of forming a shape that kind of reminds me a little bit of the Spot. And then as you turn it around, you see pretty much an inverse of that with Miles webbing up right here. It's actually one of the shots from the movie itself, and they kind of lifted it and stamped it right here. But he is upside down with the buildings behind it, kind of reminding me a little bit, not as graceful, not as iconic, not as, as pop as it was originally in that movie, but it reminds me of the shot, the very famous shot from Into the Spider-Verse where he's leaping off the building, he's taking his leap of faith, and the shot is upside down. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but just not as iconic in my opinion. But there you have the back artwork. It's cool, but I kind of wish that maybe we could have taken the Spot or maybe even Gwen and put them on the back here as opposed to just duplicating Miles, because he's already on the front. And frankly, this wouldn't be the only moment that they duplicate a cutout of a character, because this leads me to the biggest problem with the Steelbook, one that we immediately saw when they revealed it back in June. And so it's incredibly, incredibly disappointing to see that 2 months later, 2.5, almost 3 months later, really, they didn't fix it. They didn't change anything about it. They took the lazy way out, and I'm frankly quite ashamed. Yes, I still bought it. I know an awful lot of you are probably looking at me with that side eye like, well, you still bought it. Yeah, because I love the movie. I love Across the Spider-Verse, so I really wish that there would have been a much better way to commemorate the home release in Steelbook form than this. But this is frankly our only option should there be a reissue later down the line, because as you look at this front cover, you think that it looks pretty cool. You have all the spider people chasing Miles. You have this dynamic Dutch angle kind of look. But there's two significant problems. One that I actually did not know about until I finally removed that paper piece and the cellophane, which is an awful lot of the negative space. This is kind of triggering my art design mind here, which is the negative space. Again, it would have been nice if maybe the Spot was kind of lurking over here in with a reduced opacity to just kind of give it that movie poster look, but there's really nothing going on back here. But that's the lesser of the evils. The biggest cardinal sin is actually one that I'm going to give you a few seconds to deduce by just looking at the front cover here. Just take a good look there and tell me what is wrong. Tell me what is wrong. Because I know that I kind of give you a little bit of a hint before. Copy and paste. This is the Miles from the movie. That shot of him webbing up when he lands in Mumbattan, I believe. And he's trying to web through the city to make sure that he doesn't crash. This is pretty much a cutout from that sequence. And you have a similar thing going on here with Jessica Drew. You notice that she's doing that same pose from the movie. So, okay, fine. They took shots from the movie, from Across the Spider-Verse, and put it on the Steelbook. That is one thing. It's another to take shots not from the movie, but from pre-existing material, specifically either the first movie or the Spider-Man 2018 Insomniac game, taking those costumes and just throwing them on here. What the Steelbook, or whoever was in charge of designing this? I'm trying to find, there's Gwen. It would have been nicer if maybe Gwen was taken and put it over here instead of duplicated with Miles, but I don't see signature of some kind, but I'm sorry, whoever the design artist is, I kind of have a few words for you. I'm trying to see if I can find a signature or anything like that. I don't really see any. I'll probably add it in post if I find it, and I'll add a little insert shot to see if I can actually find a signature, or maybe it's inside of the artwork, on the inside artwork once you remove the discs. But you'll blatantly tell, if you look a little closer, that our designs for the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider, the Insomniac PS4 default white symbol suit back there, and to me the biggest one of performing the sin, Hobie, aka Spider-Punk. That's not the Across the Spider-Verse Spider-Punk. That is the Insomniac version of that suit with the exact pose midair from the loading screen. For him, for the Ben Reilly suit, and for the PS4 one, actually that's a direct lift of the cover art for the game. Right there. It's right there. And then I mentioned before that they took the artwork also from the first movie. You have Peter B. Parker back there with a pose from the first movie when they're swinging through the forest. And they even utilized a little bit of that artwork for the marketing material, like some of the posters and the album cover, etc. You can actually see that they just whited out his sweatpants for some reason. But that's all they did. Can't really speak for this version of Spider-Man, but everybody else, it's pretty much just direct lifts of those renders. Even Spider-Man India, he's a lot bulkier. That's not how he looked like in the movie. They took little references off of his suit, but I believe that's also another PS4 loading screen Spider-Man render. Guys, come on, this deserved better. This is one of the best films of the year, one of the best sequels to follow up in the Spider-Man mythos, and this is the Steelbook. I am desperately hoping for a 2.0 of some kind, the way that they did with the Batman, because right now, this being our only option, it's a little disappointing. You have the spine right here with the name on the side, and overall, you know, it's pretty default, but yeah, I am really let down by the actual main artwork you are greeted with here on the front. Let's take a look at exactly to see what awaits us in the middle. Look at that. Yes, the disc is in fact loose. I'm praying to God there's not too many bad scratches on it. I can't really see anything. So I guess that work is already cut for me as I remove the disc from its looseness. And you have, ooh, okay, I actually do like the artwork of Miles here in the rain because you know exactly where this is lifted from, this exact moment in the movie. But this is the art that's used for the 4K disc. So that's pretty neat right there. And as I take this from the spot that it's not supposed to be in, you have, of course, the code for the digital copy of the movie, which has already been used. I'm sorry, I don't have duplicates, so I'm going to be using this for myself. But as you... yeah, you can already tell what I'm about to rant about. Removing the Blu-ray disc, which has a very cute image of Miles and Gwen chilling upside down from that very intimate moment in the middle of the movie, or towards the beginning of the movie, really. But, you can see right there, I'm about to have another fit, because it sadly looks like they didn't take any further chances with the inside artwork. You have Miles once again falling through the dimensions. Another cutout from the same sequence, I believe, when he falls into Mumbattan. And that's it. Some blue pop art surrounding him there in the background. But other than that, nothing. And here's the thing. I want to say that this is attributed to Best Buy, but it really depends on who the artist is. And once again, I don't see any specific signature, which leads me to believe that maybe there is no artist. Maybe this was, in fact, the Steelbook company ran out of time somehow, and they just decided to commission someone to Photoshop all these renders together, put it through a filter to make it look like it's from the movie with that pop art stencil-like design, and then call it a day. And that's ultimately incredibly disappointing. Yes, I still bought it because it is, right now, as of the recording of this video, our only real opportunity to get a proper Steelbook for Across the Spider-Verse. But I am desperately hoping that we do get, in fact, a 2.0. They did one with the Batman. Even though the first release of the Batman Steelbook was pretty cool, it desperately needs a brand new revised version that has really awesome artwork. And though I have a tendency to lean towards collecting Steelbooks more so than any other format as far as physical media for certain movies, if they do some kind of design for like a digibook, even if it ends up just being a Blu-ray and omitting the 4K version of the movie, and it becomes an exclusive for a different retailer like Target, Walmart, Amazon even. If it's a better design than this, I am gladly taking it, and I'll be scouring the market to see if maybe there's something that could be imported overseas that ends up being a 4K Steelbook, but at least is able to give us a much better design, because Across the Spider-Verse definitely deserves better. So if you're a major fan of the movie and you feel like you need to at least have this in your collection, sure, go ahead and nab it, but right now I can tell you that there's major detriments to the design that for me are a huge letdown, and I just needed to bring them to your attention through this video. Otherwise, that about does it for me, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. Let me know in the comments what Steelbook design has disappointed you so far when it came to its reveal to its release, because you thought that maybe they were going to change something about it, they were going to overhaul it and give us a much more creative look at the artwork, and yet they didn't do anything about it, because right now the front runner for me has to be this one. Otherwise, if you guys want to see some more Batman and Spider-Man content, you guys know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and as always, I'll see you guys later. Stay humble. I'm sure we've all been in the theater catching the latest superhero flick, but a lot of those movies recently have been kind of long, and after a while, that bulky wallet starts to leave a crater on the dark side of the moon. Well, your cheeks have been saved by Exter. I've partnered with them to showcase some of the sleek, elegant wallets that are currently available anywhere right now. About half the size of your typical wallet while still having enough space for all of your cards. They keep them protected with durable materials such as vegan Italian leather or space-grade aluminum, and also keeps them secure from skimmers. These are some trying times we're in, and you can never be too careful. So Exter makes sure to line their wallets up with RFID protection. But best of all, you can do this. Pressing one button grants immediate access to all of your cards in an instant, so the next time you take out your card at the exact moment you missed out on that new exclusive figure pre-order, take comfort in knowing that the card is safe, secure, and comes out of an Exter wallet. And you can get yours too by using the link in the description, and while you're checking that out, get a whopping 25% off your order when you check out using that link or typing in my promo code DarkSpiderDavid. I want to thank Exter for sponsoring this video.